well and tries to cancel it. There's nobody really.
Looking for an excuse to buy a new Vizio? At only $5.99, you don't have to make excuses. Go to Vizio.com and see how Vizio is making HD TV a possibility for everyone.
Vizio.
It's pretty good. Is that the new Radiohead?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it?
$10.
How about the disc box? But
Yeah.
I was considering either getting that or paying 5 cents for it and seeing which one felt better to me inside.
A disc in a box. That's so retro.
You heard Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails just announced he's going independent also. It's like awesome. Like the Radiohead thing happened and then this happened.
Yeah, and Bungie just announced they're totally indie now.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're totally independent.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love independence.
Yeah, it's like independence is the new indie.
Totally. We should be indie.
We should totally be indie.
Are you serious?
What else we got to do?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're losing some of our cred being like held down by the man.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's be independent. Hell yeah.
Right. This is how revolutions start.
Right.
We got nothing better to do.
Indie's way better than like corporate.
Yeah, fuck corporations. Come on, Minnie.
I remember like I was playing maybe Going Commando and I felt like it wasn't paced really well. It just gets to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm playing too much. Like I just want the game to end. And my main compliment for the game is that every level is paced so well that you never really get bored because there's so many things to do, and when you think you're getting bored doing something, they throw something else at you. And you go to so many different planets, and by the end of the game, when you actually toggle through all the planets you can go to, it's such a huge list.
That's nice. And there's like great prehistoric one where they have like huge dinosaurs, and that's right before like an ice level, so they're also really different as well. Yeah, the levels in Future 2 have like huge hidden areas as well that are like totally optional. And a lot of times they don't even necessarily point you in the direction, they're just kind of there. So if you go a bit out of your way, you'll find like a whole nother third of the level's worth to explore, and that's just for like an additional gadget that'll help you, like the one that like sucks all the bullets nearer to you so you don't have to go get them. It's like just things that generally improve the game for you that are totally optional, which is great, and that goes a long way to adding to that like wanting to explore everything and replay it all.
Funny because the actual those optional parts involve a lot of the gelatin stages where you actually get the gelatin gun and shoot jello out and bounce on them. And those parts are really fun. I actually really enjoy doing them, and it's somewhat, I know they're optional, but at the same time, like I hope that people don't like neglect them, because I actually found them to be like some of the most enjoyable parts of the game, you know. So
the platforming that is there like that, like jumping in the jello, is still really well done. It's still as like polished as all the action and the shooting. I think that's one thing that this game, if anything, has more so than the others, is just like this ridiculous layer of polish. Like, I mean, it looks just ridiculously gorgeous. Like, even on, I mean, I wasn't even playing on a particularly nice TV, and it still was like phenomenal. I mean, that whole like Pixar metaphor kind of gets like thrown around a lot, and it's kind of tiresome. But like this, again, it's like this. When you're playing it, you're like, wow, the animation on the enemies and the little details and design and the humor, like the multi-layered humor for everyone. It's like everything about this is very like just Pixar film.
Ratchet? Clank? I've got a bit of a situation here at the Planetary Defense Center. Nothing I can't handle, mind you. Just a few thousand heavily armed robotic commandos, but I figured, hey, if you were in the neighborhood, maybe.
This is really a game, I would say, like, even though everyone enjoys it, it's a game that is designed like for kids, which there aren't that many of these days.
But the thing is, I mean, this is a game that is obviously can be targeted towards kids, but I think adults will. It's like a Pixar film, like we just said, because like, you know, kids can go see, you know, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and they'll enjoy it because there's all those like things that kids like, you know, all the colors, all the funny characters, but there's all this subtle humor and adult nuances that you know older people can also appreciate. I think the Ratchet series does a good job of giving what kids want and what adults want.
Right.
Congratulations, soldier. The Center for Advanced Lombax Research has selected you as the beta tester for the most important invention in Lombax history, the Dimensionator. Built by 8 of the brightest minds in Lombax history, the Dimensionator's ergonomic design is the culmination of nearly 3 Arcturian cycles of research.
There's a lot to find in this game, though. Like, lots of little stuff. I mean, even more so than the other Ratchets. There's like the regular bolts, there's the gold bolts, there's the weapon you find different parts of. There's the bonus items for the skill points in the flying space levels. And the space flying segments, they're still not great, but they're the best ones yet in Ratchet.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of breaking it up as well, because they're pretty long.
They reminded me a lot of the gummy ship battles in Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
And, you know, they're fine, they do their purpose, but it gets to the point when you're at like the 3rd or 4th one, you're kind of like, okay, I get the point.
Clank, hop on that turret!
They actually let you control Clank in a turret in the back, and I found that if I didn't shoot any enemies, I can still get past that part.
Right.
And it's weird, I'm like, well, why do you even let you play as Clank if his point, or his part is basically pointless? There's certain weapons that I just grew attached to that were so useful. For instance, the Lightning Ravager, I think is what it's called.
Shock Ravager.
Shock Ravager. It's like basically like a lightning whip, and it can take out enemies an entire radius around you. And so there's a lot of times where all these little critters will come running at you. You flick the whip once and it kills all of them. And I did acquire enough Raritanium, which is the item that lets you upgrade your weapons, that I was able to just go through and upgrade random weapons. It's like those subtle things that you might not notice the first time you play it, but I think that's why the Ratchet game is or the series itself is so successful, is because there's all these little subtle things that they put in there that kind of like raise this game above kind of like your typical like platformer. You were just mentioning the 360, like what game can compare like this on the 360? I mean, Cameo maybe?
Yeah, that's the closest
I mean, like
thing.
what? There aren't that many kind of like just old school kind of platform games. I mean, and to me, that's what's so refreshing about playing it, is because I'm like, finally, I can play a game that's not just a typical shooter or a typical third-person action game, or like in the vein of God of War or something like that. It's classic Ratchet to a T.
Right, but it's been like, what, 3 years, I think, since the last real Ratchet, since like Up Your Arsenal. So it's been a long enough time that this still feels totally fresh going into it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like immediately fun and immediately like plays well.
Some people might think like, oh wait, I expected more, but I think it's a good thing for them to do that, because it really kind of let gamers kind of appreciate that old school kind of gameplay that you really don't get anymore.
Right, while still being a total showcase for the PS3.
To your right, to your left, to your left, to the sky, to your left, to your right, to your left, shake your booty.
Finally, we're together. I mean, together, like, it's us. I want you to know how special you are to me. I just feel so alive when I look at you. You know, I see things now that I didn't see before. I have a sense of clarity and purpose. It's like destiny, you know? I feel like I'm the one that's discovered beautiful and perfection. I want to climb to the top of Everest and say, I know what beauty is! I am in love with the Vizio!
Vizio.
But dare I say it's still Zelda?
Well, but it doesn't play like any Zelda you've played before.
Right.
By play, you mean the interface, right?
Yeah, I mean...
You're not talking about the actual content of the game, which is actually very much in line with every other Zelda game.
Right, but how you...
draw on maps, okay?
That's true, but how, you know, controlling Link and your interface with the game is completely different.
Yes,
and that makes it...
I want you to go this way, so please follow my line.
And you don't think that's more fun than just pressing A to throw a boomerang?
I could live without it, you know?
Unlike you, I mean, I still have some problems with the game, but I like the interface a lot. I like the precision that it offers. And even though at first you're like, it's kind of clumsy, I don't really like it, after a while, you tweak to it and you're like, okay, this is cool. And then you start using the special weapons, like bombs. I never use bombs as weapons in the Zelda games unless I absolutely have to, because they're just so freaking annoying to throw. You can never get them to land where you want to. But here you tap where you want it to go, you throw it and it lands there, it hits an enemy and it explodes right away. And like, it really opens up a lot of new strategies for me.
They did do a really good job of completely redoing how you interact with the world. That's new. And the storyline is a direct sequel to, you know, a game that they thought that people had forgotten about, Wind Waker. So in those ways, it is
like
surprising.
3 years since Wind Waker. How could we have forgotten about it?
Well, but yeah,
Twilight,
Twilight Princess was such a, like, you know, 180 in the other direction in terms of
the great Zelda apologist. I don't think you're actually looking at this from a genuine big picture standpoint. You know, like what you are ostensibly doing is you're playing another Zelda game. You're Link. You're doing all those things. It's all the hallmarks of a Zelda game. Right. The interface is different, and I never really said that like it's outright bad. I mean, I still gave the game an 8 out of 10, but it's just more Zelda. I think like Nintendo's development philosophy is very, very conservative. It's like, okay, we've created this innovative new hardware, so let's make it's just like their controllers. Nintendo makes games for their controllers. They make their controllers for their games. They, like, the rest of the industry can hop on if they want to, but screw it if they don't.
It is obvious they did reshape Zelda 4DS. Like, all of the puzzles are so observational. It's like, look at the world.
By observational, you mean they give you a little explanation of what the puzzle solution is,
right?
And you mark it
and
on
then
your
you
map.
Mark it on your map.
That's not a puzzle. That's being told what to do. It's that's the biggest. No, that's the biggest disappointment.
Problem solving. Puzzles are too simple. I mean, I think the game was for a younger audience in some ways, and they made simpler puzzles because of that. And I think the puzzles do get repetitive. I agree with that. They're not awesome, but they are different for Zelda. And the game also got rid of a lot of the chaff you associate with Zelda, like pieces of heart containers.
Yeah, I wasn't
like
sad to see
trading items in towns. All that stuff's gone. And so a lot of the same old things you've been doing 10 times now are gone in this game. So I give them credit for like streamlining it a little bit that way.
Well, all games should have something new, right? All games like if the next game has new things and you're gonna act like, wow, it has new things.
Well, here's the thing with Zelda, is that with Zelda games, we've played the Zelda games, the same Zelda game, how many times? Every game since A Link to the Past is the same Zelda game when you get down to the basics.
I mean, games like Majora's Mask did mix it up more.
Yeah, but that's more
Not
like
every
game structure. You're still doing a lot of the same stuff. It's just that you're doing them over and over again in an attempt to, get to the end.
After a while, they have to just, cut the strings and say, okay, we can't keep remaking the exact same game over and over again.
This is Zelda that everybody's like got their panties up in a bunch about now because they just want it to be the best thing ever. That's just what, loyalists do.
It's okay to be a Zelda fan. I mean, you and I have both been Zelda fans for over 20 years, and it's okay to play a Zelda game and be, okay, this is a little insubstantial, it's a little easy, it's a little repetitive, and still you can still love that game, you know.
Do you really love running around, cutting grass, getting rupees out of the grass and all that stuff? And oh, here now I can purchase this upgrade, and it's like it's all very predictable. I mean, it's still a very high quality game. It's like well put together.
Well, but if none of the tenets of Zelda were there, if like you didn't do any of those things in this game, then people would cry foul.
Castlevania, you know, you've got to whip candles and get hearts and stuff like that. But there's got to be a more interesting way to do this thing.
And the game, it plays on those expectations. You know, when like things happen in the game and surprise you, make you laugh because you know Zelda history and how Link is supposed to react to things. But as I said, the game does surprise you. There are bosses in this game, like you fight Dodongo, and you fight him in a completely new way you've never fought him before. And even though the boss has been in many Zeldas, you've never fought him like this. I think you guys are just like, discounting some of those encounters later in the game that are really unique.
You act like they get a free pass or extra credit for, you know, oh, you finally fight this boss in a different way. Well, thank God, you know, that's like saying like, oh, in this Mario game you get to kill Bowser in a different way, you know. It's like, well, I should hope so. And like I said, this is a good game, but I'm just not blown away by it, that's all.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't blown away either. I mean, our scores aren't that far apart.
No, so, but in 9's kind of says blown away. In fact, I'm surprised.
I was on the edge of 8, 5, and 9, I gotta say.
Not slamming your score by any means, but like, you know, you're actually coming into this conversation a lot more reasonable than Shane is, and you had the same score as him.
And I almost gave it an 8.5, but like the end game did raise my opinion of the game. The reason an 8 is considered a bad score is because traditionally,
blasphemy,
handheld Zeldas have been considered among the best. They get like 10s, like Link's Awakening, you know, the Capcom ones.
So basically, by reviewing this game on its own merits, rather than saying, well, this is supposed to get a 10, so I'd better give it a 10.
Yeah.
That's why people are angry.
Because people felt like you kind of came to this with an agenda of like giving Zelda the comeuppance it's been deserving for
some time. That's why there are 3 reviews.
It's true.
Right? Because everybody has a different opinion. I may not be the die-hard Zelda fan, but these are games that can be played by non-die-hard Zelda fans, right?
People can think what they want, but Milky actually, I know this, he wanted to be on this review. He was like, he talked to the reviews editors and said, put me on this review, I'm really looking forward to it. So the fact that he didn't give it a perfectly glowing score, I think says a lot about the game, because he went into it expecting something great. Am I not correct?
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's still important to realize that we all think this is a good game.
Right.
I think it
sounds a lot more negative than it really is.
No, that's because people focus on the negative things. Like if you look at our comments, our blogs, our reviews, anything we've said about the game, people when they post it in blogs and they post it on forums, they take like the 1 or 2 negative sentences or paragraphs we write and completely ignore the rest.
Milky still hates it.
I love Zelda. I mean, I had to do a strategy guide for freaking Ocarina of Time, you know, so it's like, you better love some shit in order to do a strategy guide on stuff like that. But, you know, I just don't think this is the best Zelda that, I think they can do better. I think that Phantom Hourglass is actually a good game. I mean...
Right, you didn't give it a bad score.
I didn't give it a bad score. I gave it an 8.
An award-winning
for some people, you know.
So what's up? Hey, Simon.
We're free!
Hi.
I'm about to be independent.
What she's getting at is that we quit, I guess.
You can't quit.
Yeah, I think we have to. We have to.
We quit.
We can't be under the corporate yoke any longer.
Not if we're independent, right?
No, you can't quit. It's 4th quarter. We have like hundreds of games, literally hundreds of games coming in over the next couple of months.
I know, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have so much awesome stuff to talk about on our independent video game show for the internet. So
it's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
That is a good name. Write that one down.
Well, okay. But you know you can't take anything with you.
Well, I'm taking my debug home tonight because I want to finish Mass Effect.
Yeah, property of 1UP, I think.
What about our cameras? Hey, camera.
Yeah. We're taking the camera.
We got to take at least one camera.
We need that.
1UP camera.
What about Rob? Rob can
Rob, hey, you got to quit.
Rob.
You don't have any sort of contract you signed or anything, right? When you came, like you can be our cameraman. Oh shit. All right.
You got a camera.
Look, we're independent from all these things. We're independent from the company, from the hardware, from the games.
We're indie.
Good luck, Simon.
You
see you later.
Yeah.
Have fun with your show.
Indie. In debt. Yeah, security. Yeah, you can use tasers.
So you're the Uncharted expert, and I only
know,
say
Matt,
that. I don't think you've actually even played it, but I think it's because
Yes,
you
I
kind of look like Drake.
Do I? I look like Jason Rubin?
So who's hotter though?
I think Jason.
The dude from Mass Effect or the dude from Uncharted?
I'm going Uncharted. Uncharted,
Yeah?
guys. You got the hair, the hair.
Up. I don't see any boat, Nate. Looks like we missed our chance.
No, there it is. On the other side of the harbor. Come on.
Hey, you know what? Why don't I just wait here and you can swing around and come back and pick me up?
So I played at E3, and I mean, back before the Sony's Gamers Day, and I thought the game was definitely one of the most impressive ones, but we all agreed that the combat was a little janky.
It was really, I was really worried about it.
It took too long to kill guys. They weren't like registering. Like the hand-to-hand combat was really janky.
Yeah, weird animation patterns, and like some of the platforming is like you jump and then it would like slowly stand you up.
And then we saw it at E3, and it looked good again, but still had all those
Same
combat problems. And I'm like, are they gonna fix this?
Same thing at TGS. They showed, well, they had this event in Croatia that we didn't go to because it was in Croatia.
Yeah.
And then they showed the same thing there at TGS, and we were like, okay, it's a little better now, but it's not really that different. And then they brought it by here.
And the combat is like,
it's so good.
Way better. I mean, the targeting's really good. It doesn't take like 25 rounds to kill a guy. Hand-to-hand combat, they were trying to do this rhythm thing before, where it just didn't make sense. Like, people just didn't get it.
You mean the hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, the hand-to-hand combat just didn't get it. Where you are relative to the environment makes a difference for what kind of moves you're doing. So if you're just like in a wide open area, you're just gonna slug it out. But say you hit a guy against the wall, your next move is gonna be very different from if he's just standing like in a like an empty background. So that was kind of cool for me.
And given the way it's set up, it's not really a hand-to-hand game.
No, it's not. It's
you
not
only
just
use that on like one guy at a time. You're not fighting crowds ever.
I remember they gave me the controller and I got to try the new sniper rifle. It was so easy, just moving everything over, boom, 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 getting headshots, and like just felt really good. And the thing is, it was nice because they recognized that it wasn't there, and they're like, okay, we got to change it up. And they were thanking people at E3, going, yes, tell us that this isn't correct.
It felt so much better. It looks a lot better now. Like the jungle environments at Sony Gamers Day were very shiny. Now you've got all different types of leaves on the plants and different trees and...
Well, yeah, another impressive thing about their engine is that you don't see any, I didn't really see any popping. Purposely, like halfway through, like, all right, I'm just gonna watch for popping. I'm not gonna watch them doing anything anymore. And like, I didn't see any of that stuff. So I mean, if it's a developer trick, whatever, but it looked really impressive. But I also think another thing about this game is that we're starting to finally see other environments. This game is not Welcome to the Jungle. It's not like only
it's not
like
Turok.
Yeah, it's not Turok. It's not when it's there are a lot of different things. So when I was down there, I got to see a lot of different worlds, like, you know, a lot of different areas in terms of like tombs they were exploring, or like this one world, I swear to God, looked like it was like cross between The Goonies meets Indiana Jones, and the lighting and just everything. Like you could see all the booby traps and like where you had to go and like all the kind of obstacles. And I just thought, this looks really unbelievable. That's what I'm excited about. Like I almost kind of like that they're only showing the jungle stuff and they're not really showing you everything, because it will be kind of a surprise. there is more to this game than just like you're in a jungle shooting a bunch of pirates.
That's what I was worried about, because I knew that the team was Amy Hennig and Richard Lemachon.
Kevin Wells and all that.
Yeah, and these guys who worked on the Legacy of Kain series, the Soul Reaver series, is one of my favorite. And one of the things I loved about the Kain series was how the puzzles would work right in with the gameplay. Yeah. And the puzzles were smart, and they were challenging without being frustrating, you know. And I hadn't seen any examples of puzzles, even though you think, oh, you're raiding tombs.
Did they show you the Drake Diary?
Yeah.
So so the Drake Diary, basically, like, remember like Indiana Jones, like the book, you know, the book his father had, like with all the little hints. Well, that's kind of like going to be your hint book during the game. So you basically, if a puzzle comes up, you kind of like look at your diary, Drake's diary, for these clues. So it just adds a little element of like there's some like ground for like why you're doing these puzzles and stuff, and there's some basis there. So
I know I'm not a big-time treasure hunter like you, but I doubt you're gonna find El Dorado in there. How'd you get yourself in this mess?
Trying to rescue you, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's so sweet. Traditional sandstone, brick, and stucco, limestone mortar, huh?
How'd you get to know so much about this?
My show, Episode 4, Architects of a New World. Yep, it'll just take a tug to pull these bars out.
What?
And of course they had to figure out a way to use the 6-axis.
They had to? According to them, they didn't have to. It's not a law. They just decided.
Yeah, they're independent. Yes. They're Naughty Dog. They're not really Sony, but they do. But they do it in a way that isn't. It wasn't. It made sense.
Well, it was for balancing, like a balancing act. It was for like the trajectory on a grenade. Unlike some games, Lair, you don't have to. You don't have to ever use these mechanics. You don't have to. Like, you can just throw a grenade like a regular grenade. You can, walk across the balance, by a fallen tree.
Using the grenade, like.
Yeah, I didn't try that.
I didn't have any problems with it at all.
Oh, yeah. And it also supports the rumble.
Yep. Yes, that was cool too. I got to use the rumble, and I didn't feel like what other people have talked about, where they feel like each individual quadrant of the controller is rumbling differently.
Surround sound.
It's surround sound controller. No, it felt like rumble again. Yeah. It's slightly heavier than the controller is now. But they said that they're working with 3 prototypes right now, and one of them is lighter, and one of them is heavier. And we had the Goldilocks rumble. It was nice. It was just nice to have rumble again. Some people like it, some people don't. I like it.
At least if you import the controller, because we're not getting it till next year, you'll be able to use it. And the game is going to have achievements. Yeah, another thing.
Yeah,
it will have achievements.
You called it. When did you call it?
No, they're not called.
They're not called. Whatever. They're achievements and the medals.
The medals. And they're actual like little medals like bling come up.
And my thing is just hopefully when home is finally caught up to things, when you do have those unlocked, like they will show up in your trophy room.
I think it depends how soon home gets
my
here.
Fingers. It keeps getting better and better and better. I mean, you're pretty tough on everything. So what did you think?
I was bummed kind of when I first because I first saw the screens. I was like, okay, looks really cool. Then I played it and I was like, But then now after like last week, I got really excited for it. It's like top 5 this year.
I mean, do we call it? Is it a system seller? I mean, what do you mean? Because this is an important game for Sony.
To be. It's the first game. It's the first game on PS3 that's actually going to come out that I'm thinking like could be like a AAA game.
More than even so, not Ratchet. You don't consider Ratchet AAA?
Not quite. I think this has more potential than Ratchet does.
I am making you a fair offer. You help me find the treasure, and the last man alive gets the gold. And the girl, of course.
The girl? Oh, Eddie, the girl's long gone. She's probably off the island by now. Going for help.
Daikujin, you were never very good at poker. I will find her. Trust me. How much trouble could one girl be?
Well, come on!
Blockwell tries to come to
buy a new Vizio? At only $5.99, you don't have to make excuses. Go to Vizio.com and see how Vizio is making HDTV a possibility for everyone.
Vizio.
3, 2, 1.
So you want me to just hold it up?
Hold it steady. Hold it steady. Wait.
I think it should dance and stuff. It should be like energy. So
Did
what games do you want?
Did
Yeah.
you bring your DS or whatever?
Look, I snuck this out of the building. They didn't know. I got that fancy new brain age DS.
Wow.
Isn't it?
This is the best podcast ever. I'm playing.
What have you been playing, Ryan?
I play games, computer games, Half-Life.
No, we already talked about that on the show.
Oh yeah. Do you have anything else besides your DS?
I've been playing Pokemon.
That's really old.
Yeah.
That's really old.
I can't believe basically those guys, none of them wanted to.
No. No one else wants to be independent. They need to pay their rent.
Well, I need to pay my rent. How much are you paying?
For what?
This.
Oh, you expecting to get paid?
Well, yeah. I mean.
Well, we got to do the stuff first and then get advertised.
All right. Yeah. You're off
sorry.
camera. Yeah. Okay. So now we're looking for advertisements. I guess they can't message us on the One Up blog anymore.
Oh shit.
Okay. So message me at my MySpace.
Yeah. Go to our MySpace.
We're for sale.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was ready for this.
Yeah. I think you need to have money.
I miss all the. This sucks. We suck at this.
You need to have lots of money before you can go independent, and we don't have lots of money.
Radiohead has lots of money. Bungie has a lot of money.
Same with Trent Reznor. Anyone want to talk about?
I don't want to talk to strangers.
You don't like
stranger danger.
Oh.
Let's just.
Should we go back in?
Yeah, I bet they'll give us our jobs back.
Simon's cool, right? Simon's cool. Let's go back in. Let's go back inside.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay, let's go back in.
Stranger danger. I'll take the camera. Sorry to interrupt.
Please, can we have our jobs back? Please.
Please, can you have your jobs back?
Yeah, can we have our jobs back? We're not ready to be independent.
No, we're not really independent people yet.
You know what? I'll see if I can do. If I can get you guys back at half the pay, how's that?
I don't know.
Can I have your pay?
No.
No. How about double?
Double.
Double's probably not going to happen.
Okay, let's meet in the middle and let's come back for the same amount we got paid before.
All right, but you owe me.
Yep.
Okay.
Both
All
of
right.
you.
Thank you. Yes. I still don't know I have that DS. I win.